professionally, I started off life as a journalist, so I was writing about business for many years, and I was travelling an awful lot. And my weeks, I work a huge amount of hours, and I, was quite work obsessed, so I was quite happy to do it, because I enjoyed the thrill as well of travelling and interviewing. I'd be interviewing business people, MDs, and you're always learning something, so you're always having a new experience and kind of buzzing off that. What I wasn't doing at that time was meditating. So I started to get burnt out, and I physically started to become exhausted. Meditation actually came into my life because I was looking for more purpose. So, it's a transformational tool that helps you find answers to things. When you create that clarity and that, and you bring that sense of peace to yourself, it gives you the space to actually think about things on a bigger perspective. I made a decision to retrain. I was actually in India, and I retrained in a holistic health system called Ayurveda, which is an old Indian health system. And I developed a brand around that concept. So we actually train therapists, we train professional therapists, and then we also manufacture skincare and body care. And I also trained as a meditation teacher. So I trained very traditionally with a swami. Do you know what a swami is? Yeah, you all familiar? So I wanted to train with a person like that because I wanted to be close to truth. We're spending today talking about truth and what that means to us. And that was an interesting experience within itself because, when you train in that way, it's very purist. And it's quite detached from actually everyday life. And from a training point of view, I really enjoyed it, but I realised that for me, meditation is an everyday tool. This afternoon, I'm going to be facilitating a 30-minute session. It's very much looking at our health and techniques and processes that we can use meditation for to help us turn back the clock. But what I wanted to do now was just look at meditation as a natural solution to anti-aging. So some of the things, when we look at aging, so I'm talking just conceptually from, how I see things. Stress is a big factor. So stress, big factor in aging. I think that generally most people agree on that. Poor diet, which is that's going to affect the way that you look and the aging process. And also lack of sleep. A lot of people, especially friends that I speak to in London who are out there, they work long hours, 5 days a week. You have the stress of getting to work, on the tube, going home. Not everybody, but generally if you're living that sort of life, also when you've got a family, when you've got other commitments, if you've got family outside of London as well and you have to, regularly drive up to see them, the responsibilities of life could help us get to a point where we're not sleeping properly. So life is full of setbacks to beautiful looking skin, isn't it? And our aging processes. It's not so easy to go through life and not be affected by this. Also, when was the last time any of you actually spent a day where you didn't respond to emails or social media or the alarm clock? Now, when it comes to meditation, there's a lot of physiological changes that happen when you start to meditate regularly, and this is really what I wanted to look at from the aging process. When I talk to clients who are starting to feel the effects of aging, I find a lot of them talking about tiredness and lack of energy and lack of sleep and poor immunity, and these seem to be the words that that are coming up all the time. The first link for them is to start to invest better in skincare. So that's just I'm starting to feel my skin's looking dull, tired. Right, I'm going to go out and buy better quality skincare, or I'm going to go and have a facial. Or I'm going to go and, do other things. And, and that is going to help, obviously. If you've got if you feel that your skin is looking dull, it's looking a bit tired, then, good quality products will make a difference. There is a reason why they'll be priced slightly higher than, something you might get somewhere else. But it's, for me, it's really more than that. And that's, in a way, we were talking about what beauty means to us, and actually, it was Max who had mentioned that your idea of beauty from youth to where it is now, that was very superficial, and where you are now, there's this real depth to understanding what it means to you and to, you know, the people in your life. It's the same with the aging process. So when we age, it's a there's a degenerative change that's going on in you. And what meditation does is it actually starts to create physical changes within you that start to slow that process down. You know, the daily grind that causes the degenerative process of aging will continue. So whether you change your skincare, you know, whether you go and have a regular facial, whether you have injectables or chemical peels, the physical changes that are going on within your body will continue. And the only way to really address that is to bring a tool like meditation into your life, because that's actually going to slow that process down. The other thing, living in an urban city, that we also need to think about is our environment. And you know, it's more polluted here. I was born in London but brought up in Nottingham, and Nottingham's a very different environment. 20 minutes you can be out in the country. We don't face the same sort of pollution that we face here in London. So this is another thing that's also going to cause you know, sort of stress and damage to our skin and the outer layers of our body, you can say. So, in my humble opinion, as much as as much as we put sort of pennies into changing skincare, having lovely facials, doing all of these really lovely things, to actually physically turn back the clock, you do need to put attention into creating a disciplined practice for yourself that starts to make physiological changes internally. The other thing that you'll find with regular meditation, you'll actually start to feel a lot more energized anyway. It calms the mind down, it helps your body really, or your nervous system release tension. So, you know, if you're having one of those days where you're super busy at work, or you've got to go and pick the kids up and you're running late, and it just seems like the world's against you, 10 minutes of meditation, you just take yourself out of that space, and it is going to physically reduce that immediate feeling of stress, you know. So you start to feel calmer already, more collected, and ultimately your you know, the process of making decisions becomes better, you become clearer and you have more clarity. So you make less mistakes along the way as well. So there's lots of positives to bringing it into your life. You'll feel more calm. And also, if you are a spiritually orientated person, there's a physical transformation that happens through the regular use of meditation. So many, many benefits, okay? Bit of background to the aging process. So it is a complex issue. It's not just one thing. When you look at the aging process, I sort of looked at some figures which I agree with. 90% of adult illness is firstly due to the degenerative process of aging. So 90%, that's a huge percentage. And many researchers also agree that aging is 10% genetic. Now these figures really got me. 10% genetic and 90% lifestyle. You know, I mean, one of the nice things to do, it's one of the things I encourage clients that do come to me for meditation, is to have a diary. So I give them a homework diary, and it allows you to just write down your activity in a day. And it's something that you can then analyse. You know, at the end of the week, you'll see where your time is being allotted and where your physical energy is actually going. And a lot of energy is wasted, you know, so there's a lot of energy going into areas and places and people and things and doing and seeing that doesn't actually physically re-energise you. So looking at your lifestyle, you know, as an initial point of call can make a difference to the aging process, because in the simple fact that you'll feel calmer, more collected, once you're able to sort of maintain your energy and use it for more, you know, positive things. So you're actually gearing it in the right way. It's a tool that can help you in many ways. And in 1982, this is worth noting, Dr. Robert Keith Wallace, so he's a doctor not in the UK, abroad, studied the effects of meditation on aging, and he published his findings in the International Journal of Neuroscience. And he actually found subjects with an average chronological age of 50 years who had been practicing meditation for over 5 years had a biological age 12 years younger than their chronological age, you know, which is phenomenal. And he also, so it means a 55-year-old meditator had the physiology of a 43-year-old, you know, so it's worth doing. They're pretty good numbers. And he also, several of the subjects in the study were found to have a biological age 27 years younger than their chronological age. So this study's been replicated several times. Now I'm just going to use myself as an example. I started meditating regularly 10 years ago. So for 10 years I've now been meditating. And I have my own ritual. I actually, every morning I have a bath. I don't shower. So every morning, that's a luxury that I've brought into my life. And that's when I spend 30 minutes actually, sort of going through my process and finding that time. It's also a time when I'm able to relax. I don't have any wrinkles yet. You know, it's something that's brought me a great amount of personal satisfaction. It's brought an awful lot of personal development and physical transformation. And it also helps kind of keep the clock, you know, that way rather than that way. You know, your skin becomes brighter, more alert, your physical energy, you have more energy, you know, you actually have more physical energy to do things, and you just feel kind of the vibration of things on a different level. I just know from before, you know, where my life it was certainly a roller coaster. It was great. I was living in lovely hotels, traveling all over the place, meeting fantastic people. But what I feel now with meditation is so much more deeper. It's, you know, so as a simple example, you just start to see things in more finite detail. Does that make sense? Yeah. So it gives you that sense of satisfaction. And actually, simpler things become more interesting. It becomes a very sort of finite feeling. But from the process of aging, another great example that we can look at is if you do look at regular meditators that are in the public eye, so some of the sort of the sages and the saints, we can say. I'll name some names. I didn't bring any pictures, but you know, hopefully you will have heard of one or two of these. But there was a meditation teacher who the Beatles actually made him very famous, Maharishi. I don't know if any of you are familiar with him. If you look at his face, I mean, the guy, when he passed, he was 87. He was around about there. I mean, his skin and his eyes, everything was glowing. Your yoga teacher. So for those of you that do go to yoga regularly, and if you look at their skin and you look at their eyes, and then if you have the relationship with them to actually ask them what their age might be, you'll probably see that they look a lot younger than their physical years. So it makes a difference. It will make a difference to you physically. If you start now, if you're not doing it already, then, you know, within I'd say within 3 months, you start to already feel the physiological changes. So you start to feel better, you start to feel more relaxed. You know, that sense of stress just tends to go. You sort of live much more in the moment. You know, so the worries that you may previously live with, you're able to just they just kind of go. You know, because you start to just connect with a much more bigger picture. And you start to realise that actually how I'm feeling today, you know what, tomorrow's another day. I'm going to feel different tomorrow. So that immediate feeling that might increase the stress levels, which then lead on to the, you know, to the process of aging, you're able to start to dissipate quite easily. And it's simple, you know, it's a tool that is free to all of us. It's part of who you are, it's your own eternal wisdom. And you don't have to pay for it. So there's physical benefits that you'll find by practicing meditation for a good 10 minutes a day. You know, I would say you need to dedicate 10 minutes at least. If you can dedicate more than that to your practice, even better. I spend 30 minutes, you know, but for me, it sets me up for the day. You know, it really prepares me for the day and gets me going, and I'm energized, and I kind of know I've done something really nice for myself, and I feel very peaceful. Over time, there's a softening of the skin. Actually, Karen did touch on some of this. And there's a loss of muscle tone, which combined causes the kind of the creepy loose skin. Okay, so that's what you'll start to see over time. And then you'll also start to see lines appearing as well. And they can be because of familiar expressions that you're repeating over time. I laugh an awful lot, so I've got these two lines that are, you know, starting to appear. So you'll start to physically see some different changes. Other sort of the more, I've categorised this as macro and micro. It's just the way I kind of understand it. But some of the macro physical signs of ageing, dulling hair. Has anyone started to see that yet? Or no?
Loss of hair.
Yeah, loss of hair. Yeah, loss of hair. Thinning skin. Has anyone started to experience that yet? No, probably, but yeah. And over time, drying skin. That's one of the first signs because you start to feel it in your joints as well. Just kind of dull, blemished skin. And premature aging. So this is signs of premature aging. You need to watch out for excessively dry skin. Obviously wrinkles when you start to see them appear. More limp muscles and also joint pain can be a sign as well. And you'll see some physical symptoms. So, if you think that these are sort of happening earlier than they really should be, they're things like chapped lips, crackled feet as well, believe it or not. Again, a sign of, it can be, it's your body, your physical body starting to dry internally. Brittle nails, another example, and I think this also links in with food. If you've got a poor diet, you're going to see those symptoms there as well. Psoriasis can be related. Dandruff as well, that's another example. So really the loss of hair or the drying of hair, dandruff, another symptom, dry hair and split ends. My hair actually is very thick, but that is something I've started to see. Certainly the ends are starting to split a lot more, and it's not as thick as it used to be. And I'm sure there's a few little things that I can introduce into my life, certainly from the nutritional aspect, that will make a difference. So it's just starting to introduce little things into your life. They're little rituals. It's having the information, having the knowledge that actually you can make the difference today, which will impact you in your health and the way you physically feel and look in the future. Now, anatomy of the skin. It's one of the most active organs in the body. It contains sensory nerve endings. It's one of the main excretory organs. It plays an important part in regulating body temperature and protects the deeper organs from injury and invasion of microorganisms. Now, the skin on all of us varies, so some of you, there'll be thickness, texture changes, obviously colouring. With some you can also see different colours under the skin. I have more of a yellow tone. Some people are more pinkish, some more blue. This can depend on the colour of the blood underlying the subcutaneous tissue, which will show through. Again, obviously your genes are going to, make a difference and have an effect there. But the skin, it's supple and elastic, so it enables us to move all our body parts more freely. And with maturity in excess ultraviolet, the skin can lose some of its characteristic elasticity by a protein substance called collagen. So that's something Karen spoke about as well. And this is, I sort of like to look at it as a scaffolding of the skin. It's your outer layer that is, protects you. And therefore what happens is it starts to sag and wrinkle. The skin also secretes an oily substance called sebum, which I'm sure you're all familiar with, and this helps maintain suppleness. Okay, so what are the physical changes with meditation that actually happen, which are the key to helping us stay young? Well, in simple terms, regular meditation is going to soothe, calm and bolster your skin. Okay, so if you just think about it like that, instead of stripping it like synthetic skincare might do or harsh chemical treatments. So you're working from the inside out, which is always a plus. It will take longer, but you will get much more longer term benefit from that. Collagen sebum, by meditating, you'll get a better night's sleep. And this in turn improves the flow of collagen and sebum, so it improves the elasticity of your skin. But most importantly, regular meditation actually dramatically affects production of 3 age-affecting hormones. And that's what I really wanted to just quickly talk about. So you've got one hormone called DHEA, one called melatonin, which I think most people are familiar with, and then another one called cortisol. Okay, so when you look at these hormones, so DHEA is the hormone that is related to, which reduces as you get older, and meditation can increase the productivity of DHEA by 44 to 90%. So this becomes less with the aging process. So what you want to do is you want to increase it. You want to kind of bolster it up. Okay? And meditation is going to help you do that. Melatonin, so melatonin, besides being a sleep hormone, it's a very powerful antioxidant. It's anti-aging, and it slows cell damage and improves energy. And by meditating, you're going to increase melatonin by a huge 98 to 100%. Cortisol also, it's a stress hormone. So this is a stress hormone. Or, you know, it helps balance the stress, and meditation decreases, well, it's a stress, so it decreases cortisol by 47%. So additionally, when cortisol is released by the body, sugar levels in our bloodstream actually go up. So again, there's a link to your nutritional balance there, which can damage the collagen. So meditation physically, these are the physical changes that you're going to feel, physiological changes that you're going to feel through regular use of meditation. And you know, like I said, there's many, many more things that actually happen through the regular use. But from the idea of keeping the years back and helping us stay youthful and young, these are the physical changes. This is the link for you there that will make a difference. And then I know we need to move over to lunch now, so just to wrap up, I just wanted to give you some simple kind of, you know, my sort of 3 top tips as to what you can do today. You know, after you leave this workshop, what are the 3 things you can bring into your life really easily? Well, obviously, meditation's not one of the 3, I'm afraid. The other thing that's going to make a huge difference over long term, I know some of you have said you're not really into sort of beauty routines. There are some simple beauty rituals that will make a difference. So good cleansing is one of them, and I have a handout, just a simple handout. So that's number 1. I'm a huge advocate of massage. I teach massage and I have regular massage. It helps improve your physical energy, it helps with lymphatic drainage, it helps with relaxation, it helps with more glowing skin. Regular sort of self-massage even to your face, it's a holistic approach, but it will help maintain that elasticity. You know, don't think of it as a treat. Try and have a regular treatment. Try and have, go for a facial with a massage included. You know, if you can't go once a month, then try once every 3 months. Again, just try and bring that ritual into your life. You'll start to see the differences. It will help, and it helps improve your health in many, many ways. Okay, and then just my 3rd point is healthy lifestyle to be truly effective. So to wrap all of this up, you know, have a think about your lifestyle. Have a think about your lifestyle, the time you wake up in the morning, how you manage your stress levels. You know, what are some of the nice, kind things, gentle things that you actually do for yourself? Do you take enough care and attention of yourself, you know, or is all that energy, physical energy, sort of out there in the world? Because doing nice things for yourself make a difference, and also having a good lifestyle which is quite organised is going to make a difference to the ageing process as well. Not in a rush at the end of the day, so if anyone does have any other questions, then you know, just take me to the side for 5 minutes and I'm more than happy to go through that with you. Okay.